James, Mel, and welcome to the tasting table. This is a multi-day, multi-wine test on Coravin's Pivot Plus wine preservation system. I'll give you my thoughts, impressions, and point score on the system. Stay tuned. I've been wanting a Coravin for quite some time. Now there are several different models. Probably many of you are familiar. Here is the Coravin Classic, which would be like the 3 Plus, 6 Plus, Timeless 11. The top 3 questions, one of them is quite related to this product: organic wines, vegan wines, and I have too many wines. Now let's talk about and drill down to number 3. I have too many wines. People have too many wines in their cellar, and there's a multiple of reasons why they have accumulated so much. They belong to a wine club, for example, or perhaps they don't have anybody else who enjoys red wines. And many people are concerned about a wine going bad. So if you're spending $100 a bottle and you want to enjoy it on a Tuesday, you should be able to enjoy a glass if you want to. Until Coravin, you really weren't able to do so. I think this is a really well thought out system. So I'm doing this multi-day test. So one is a more aged wine, 2014 Dry Creek Valley Merlot by Rafanelli. This is going to be Biondi-Santi. This is a Rosso di Montalcino 2020. And so these are different wines altogether, but it doesn't matter because I don't want just to open them up and enjoy them within 24 hours or less. That is really not what wine enjoyment is all about. With this particular system, you're able to do so. Now, here is the Coravin Pivot Plus. It's a different model than, say, you see the, as I showed a picture of the ones that have a needle. So the wine tube is what you're going to utilize instead of the needle. Now, this does have a difference in terms of how this product will behave. Now, you have this product simply because it's going to preserve wine for 30 days. And I think that's a pretty amazing thing. So when you think about it, this is a really great system to enjoy a fine wine on a Tuesday or Monday or whatever day you want to enjoy your wine. And you will have no guilt in enjoying that wine because it's going to be preserved for that 30 days. Now, the needle collection, the 3 Plus, 6 Plus, Timeless 11 and so forth, that's going to last up to a year. Now, the Argon canister is going to last. I've already put one in here already. This contains 2. I'll tell you more what comes in this package. But this lasts for 20 glasses of wine. So very small, simple model, very lightweight. So you get 2 wine stoppers and you get a wine aerator and you get 2 canisters of argon. Now, if you just get the pivot is going to be $119. This is $149. And you get one of these, which is the aerator. So don't ever lose these because this is $20, for example. And so you definitely want to keep this all together. You can buy more of the capsules and have more bottles that you want to taste and try and enjoy. So me as a wine reviewer, I have many bottles to be tasted at any given time. So I can get more of these and put them on all the bottles that I do have to taste and enjoy them over a period of time and not to rush through and taste. And actually I can get through and cycle through more of those wines, at least for my reviews, than I could normally. So I'm going to be able to enjoy over a period of time. I open that up, I immediately have to put this in here. So you put the cap back on. Now you put this here and you're ready to go. A Rafanelli, this is something, it's a 2014. I think it needs some aeration. So I'm gonna put the aerator on, and you don't have to use this if you don't feel you need it. I do think I need it for this wine here. So when you enjoy this, just take this off, put this right back in. And now you are ready to pour. Just hit the button here. It's going to release the wine. Oh, this is a non-aerated. This is the aerated. And this is a very lively, fresh wine. Now, it needed to wake up just a bit. So one thing I do notice right away is an absolute freshness. Now, I believe there would be freshness to this wine. It's very evident here. I'll taste this against the non-aerated wine. Aerated wines is completely fresh. And not that they're so indistinct necessarily, is that this wine, I just don't taste a lot of freshness. I get a lot of more pepper note. I believe this is the most accurate picture of what the wine is really meant to taste like. It does have some pepper, spice notes, just as this wine here. But I think this is really a great test to enjoy this wine. Okay, so now let's open up this bottle here and insert the wine tube. So a very nice capture of early season cherry, Morello cherry notes, strawberry notes, as well as some pepper, clove, dried red rose petal, and moistened red clay earth. And I think this is a really nice way of enjoying this over a period of time. So it's gonna be memorable tomorrow, a few days from today. A week from today, it's going to be just as alive, but I will confirm with you that that is indeed the case. Relevant, valuable system, the Coravin Pivot Plus. So this is day 15. Now I have these 2 bottles. One is the Biondi-Santi Rosso di Montalcino 2020, and the other is Rafanelli Dry Creek Valley Merlot 2014. And I really want to test two of them side by side in the same period of time and see how they work through the Pivot Plus. Now I'm going to try the Rafanelli and pour in my wine glass here and see how this has done over that period of time. What I really expect from this wine is to be very similar in terms of that experience of first opening up this wine. What I find to be very compelling about this wine is its superb freshness, very nice red clay earth experience, as well as raspberry notation. And I believe that is very similar to my first notation on this wine. And next is a palate characterization. If this did not have a Coravin and day 15, it would be undrinkable. So very alluringly beautiful, fresh, livened wine, and one where I think it is completely expressive of its fruit character, red fruit character, herbaceous tonality of tarragon, as well as sage, pepper, clove, and so a bit of actually red floral on this. It is absolutely delightful, delicious, and wonderful, and definitely holds up to that day 15 standard that I hoped for, expected. And next is a Biondi-Santi wine. Pour this wine and see how this actually characterize it. I think this is just that peak freshness that I experienced on day one. What I like about the nose is early season red cherry, as well as Morello cherry, mountain strawberry, as well as dried herbs, dried red rose petal, and pepper clove. Next is a palate characterization. Freshness, beauty, elegance on this wine. Now this is a 2020, and I don't always expect freshness on a wine necessarily. It's not a terribly bad thing if it doesn't have a fresh character, but I think because this is a 2020, I definitely hoped for that. I definitely got that delivered, especially day 15. And again, day 15 is the proving point where it is undrinkable. It definitely looks fatigued, even in the glass. Definitely gets a slightly different colorization. This looks exactly how I saw this in terms of a very nice light to medium garnet colorization. And so the Coravin has done its job so far in day 15. Now we're going to start off first with the Rafanelli. And so this is day 30. These wines would not be good after 2 days, in my opinion, after post-opening without a wine preservation system like Coravin. And so I think ultimately that's a great test and testimony so far. Now this is consistent with all the notes that I wrote down, both for the nose and the palate. So what I like about the Rafanelli Merlot is it comes out to be a very fresh, captivating, delicious wine that does not have any sense of age on it, and especially 30 days in. Let me give a taste on this wine. Raspberry, pepper, clove, tarragon, sage notes, and I think this is completely, absolutely delightful, delicious. Colorization shows that this is a lively wine. There's no sense of any tiredness. If I'd been blindfolded and tasting this wine, I would have expected that this wine was open today. So it's a very superb experience, very excited. And next we'll try the Biondi-Santi. And here is day 30 of this wine right here. Without Coravin wine preservation system, this would look haggard. So this would be losing color on the edges of the wine. Is its early season red cherry notes, a live and very fresh wine that I expected in terms of that, I would say, character of Rosso de Montalcino. And I'll try this in terms of the palate. Morello cherry, a spice notation, a hint of dried herbs and fresh herbs, and a bit of spice notation, but a very minute hint of that. So this wine is absolutely stunningly beautiful, gorgeous, and relevant, and just as day one. Coravin Pivot Plus gets 97 points. This is $149. I think it's a really good price point for a fantastic implement. And what I like about it, it's actually very, very small. So this is fantastic to put in your wine drawer. Perhaps you put this in, your kitchen, or perhaps you put this where you have in your dining room all your wine implements and accessories and wine glasses and so forth. But it is very, very small. A nice pouch to put this in. Put your wine aerator in your pouch, and this is $20 if you lose it. So don't lose it. It is a fantastic aerator. In fact, it's probably one of the best I've ever had. And so couple this with this, it is a really nice way to treat your wine. And why would you have fantastic bottles of wine if you're not going to treat them well? Also, this is the Argon capsule. So the Argon capsules last for the pre-Pivot Plus 3 bottles of wine. This is 4 bottles for the Pivot and the Pivot Plus. And especially if you're opening really nice bottles of wine, this is $99. This is no longer available to be sold. So if I'm going to be enjoying wine, why not share this and have a nice, even experience throughout? So when I get a nice bottle that I want to open up for myself, I don't have a sense of guilt. I can open this up. I know it's going to last for that 30-day period. And so, you can compare and contrast, right? This is $149. You can spend a bit more and get the non-Pivot and Pivot Plus but that's going to last for about a year. And of course, the canisters, the argon canisters, last a little bit less in terms of the coverage for the wine bottles that you are protecting your wines with. It's a super easy wine preservation system to use. It takes no effort to understand it, learn it, store it, and use it again and again. So this is something that's nice to have. And why would you want to treat something you spend so much money on in a way that's not going to preserve the wine through the beginning of the experience of that bottle to the very end? And this is also good for a cafe, wine bar, a restaurant. And so this is a nice thing to have as well. So you can have several of these in terms of, say, the wait staff who could utilize this, and to perhaps have a nice fine selection of wines by the glass and more expensive wines. Have at least a Pivot Plus. It has 2 canisters of argon and the wine aerator, which operates fantastically well. And so I think ultimately, I think it's a nice way to give this gift to yourself. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video review. Questions and comments, please list below, and I will see you soon. Santi.